Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. There are growing signs that Russia could be close to capturing the key southern port city of Mariupol, which has suffered a devastating 6-week assault. Russia claims 1,026 Ukrainian soldiers have laid down their arms in the besieged city. The southern port has been under attack for weeks and is believed to be close to falling into Russian hands. The Ukrainian Defence Ministry denies the reports. The Polish, Lithuanian, Latvian and Estonian presidents have travelled to the Ukrainian capital Kyiv to meet President Zelensky. Zelensky described the trip as a gesture of support for Ukraine. Officials say the meeting focused on ways to assist Ukrainian civilians as well as the military. Meanwhile, Ukraine says it has arrested the country's most senior pro-Russian politician, Viktor Medvedchuk. The opposition party leader had been under house arrest, suspected of treason, but fled shortly after the Russian invasion. President Zelensky has offered Russia to trade him for captured Ukrainians. Finland has begun a debate which could result in the country applying for NATO membership within a matter of weeks.
There are different perspectives to apply NATO membership.
Prime Minister Sanna Marin was speaking at a joint news conference with her Swedish counterpart Pamela Anderson.
I think you really must analyse the new situation.
According to Finland's foreign ministry, a government-commissioned report released today examines the fundamentally changed security environment and will make its way through Parliament. An opening debate is planned for a week later. Until recently, most Finns had not wanted to join NATO, but Russia's invasion of Ukraine has prompted some rethinking, and latest polls suggest there's now a majority in favour of joining. South African authorities in KwaZulu-Natal province are calling for a state of disaster to be declared after floods wreaked havoc in the area. President Cyril Ramaphosa said it was a tragic toll of the force of nature and is visiting the region. Months' worth of rain fell in a single day in some areas, and mudslides have brought traffic to a standstill. Many people are still missing. Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak have rejected calls to resign despite being fined by police for breaking lockdown rules in Downing Street in June 2020.
I once again offer a full apology.
The Prime Minister, the Chancellor and the Prime Minister's wife all received fixed penalty notices for attending a birthday gathering for the Prime Minister in Number 10. As a result, Mr Johnson has become the UK's first serving Prime Minister to be sanctioned for breaking the law. All three have apologised, but opposition MPs say the Prime Minister and Mr Sunak must now resign.
They've dishonoured their office. This is the first time in the history of our country that a Prime Minister has been found to be in breach of the law. And then he lied repeatedly to the public about it. Britain deserves better. They have to go.
Huge plumes of smoke have been seen billowing from wildfires in the mountains in Ruidoso in New Mexico. The wind-driven wildfire burned dozens of homes and triggered evacuations of schools and neighbourhoods in the mountain resort town. Authorities said the fire had burned 150 houses and structures as winds of 90 miles per hour propelled flames through forested canyons. The blaze, known as the McBride Fire, was one of around half a dozen wildfires burning in New Mexico and West Texas. A Ugandan man has secured a deal to produce the nation's first ever animation film for Disney. Raymond Malinga says he wants his work to show the positive sides of Africa and broaden diversity in the industry. Although African content is gaining popularity thanks to growing commissions for series and short films by streaming services like Showmax and Netflix, foreign content is still dominant. The current project is an anthology of short animated movies by African producers, set to premiere on the Disney Plus streaming platform later this year. His dream, he said, is to bring on the world stage African film and animation to replicate the success of other African industries. And finally, the former Baywatch star Pamela Anderson has made her Broadway debut in the hit musical Chicago in New York. Anderson plays the role of Roxy Hart, which she called a dream role. Following her stage debut, fans gave Anderson glowing reviews. She will appear in the show until June the 5th. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.